This is WJAR TV channel 11 Providence, and it's 10:30 for Telenews Daily for this January 29th, 1952 on a Tuesday. Good evening, everybody. I'm Russ Van Arsdale, and here's what's happening. In Boston, Dennis W. Delaney asked the collector of the Internal Revenue Service for Massachusetts was sentenced today to 2 years imprisonment and fined $10,000 in convictions, receiving $7,500 in bribes and falsifying that $180,000 in tax items have been satisfied. Federal Judge Charles E. Wiggins Jr. sentenced Delaney to 2 years in prison on 8 charges, 3 counts of an indictment in which charge he could receive $7,500 to influence tax decisions. The court ordered that the terms be served concurrently. He also fined Delaney $2,500 on each count the amount he was accused of soliciting and receiving. Marietta, Ohio. Bitter winter weather today caused the thunderous sweep of a 3-state Ohio river flood, but 7,000 still went homeless and 9 were dead. Sub-freezing temperatures caused raging Ohio River tributaries to crest 22 hours ahead of its time and 2 to 3 feet below the expected top. This reduced the flood threat
Police are searching
to non-river communities. The U.S. Weather Bureau in Cincinnati said it was cutting down the depths and it was expected with the Ohio to reach its cities westward toward the Mississippi River. Scores of Ohio roads are still wearing inundated, however. The cold weather added to general misery into the flood area. Many persons who had planned to stay in the upper floors of their homes were forced to evacuate for lack of heat, and water froze in gas pipes and basements. The cold snap covered roads with ice, but transportation already had been brought to a near standstill by the flood. Here in Rhode Island, city streets around Providence and around the Ocean State were glazed with an icy cover early today. On the thermometer dropped to 20 degrees and froze an inch of wet snow, which started falling early Monday night. 6 public works department trucks spread sand and salt during the night as crews walked today on shady spots sheltered from the sun and were prepared to go out tonight when an expected cold weather burdens up the slush again. No accidents or traffic jams were reported from Newport or county towns and around the state. Police were kept busy covering inquiries about road conditions, but reported highways in good shape. Middletown and police and Portsmouth crews each had 3 morning trucks
Express plane that was bound for Logan Airport. That plane was coming in from Dallas Airport in Washington
sended it
to make an emergency
the roads on duty
Delaware.
throughout the night. The Navy put a heavy weather plan into effect early Monday night,
The oxygen mask
stopping non-essential boating. The restriction was lifted at 8 a.m. today. About 4 inches of snow fell in northern Rhode Island around Woonsocket, Hartford, Connecticut, and Portland, Maine, and a 6-inch blanket. Northern ski slopes, which could have used some fresh snow, got only a dusting here. Paris, with almost half of the member nations declining to vote, the United Nations Political Committee today condemned that the Soviet Union is having failed to honor its 1945 Treaty of Friendship with the Chinese government of General Chiang Kai-shek. The vote 24-9 with 25 abstentions came shortly after Soviet delegate Jacob A. Melik charged that under the direction of 2 American generals that is bringing to build it up to the Burma's Chinese National Shock Forces to the default at any moment can provoke aggression. The U.S. has repeatedly denied similar charges raised by the Chinese Reds before Melik spoke. The UN again had rejected such charges and implied it would not be aid to the Chinese nationalists in Burma. The Red Cross Blood Removal came to down today, and more than 180 people greeted it with clenched fists here in Newport. Mayor Dana J. Lewis, Paul F. Murray, local Red Cross chapter chairman, and Leonard E. J. Slexy, Rick Quinn, chairman, and Harold A. Watson, chairman of the Blood Doctor Committee, were among those who were doubled up hands were a sign of this strange hospitality. It seems that when you come to give blood for the addicts and come your to conscience,
They're going to do it for
unleash your hand to help the vital blood flow into the sterile container, the second floor gym, and the social of the armed services. YMCA was a novel sight as Newport and Jamestown citizens marched about with bird stems waving in the air.
Police officer Sean Collier.
10 at a time, they went to the temporary unit from the bloodmobile to donate its confessively their midst. There,
U.S. Attorney Carmen Ortiz surveyed the family
Munsan, Korea, the communists hinted today that Red China would wash its hands of direct participation in the administration of Korean armistice. The hint was cryptic and indirectly came during a meeting of state officers on trace supervision with the UN command reported progress was being made. In another truce meeting, however, Reds flatly rejected an
To save the death penalty for the carnage here on board.
Allied plan for exchange of prisoners. The communists were prompted to be told that they must contribute some of an agreement to be reached. The Chinese handoff was made by North Korea during discussion of an 18-page UN program for supervising the truce. The Allied plan provided a civil administration on the red half of the demilitarized zone would be the joint responsibility of the Supreme Commander of the Korean People's Army and the Commander of the Chinese People's Volunteers.
Is not a proponent of capital punishment. Take a look at these two magazine covers now. On the left, that's
Washington, the House Judiciary Committee today ordered an investigation of the administration and the Justice Department in the Office of Attorney General J. Howard McGrath.
the Bath and
The investigation will be made by 7 members of the committee.
firestorm over here.
Of the committee, 4 Democrats and 3 Republicans to be designated by Chairman Seller, Democrat of New York. It was ordered at a closed session at the committee and by both members would not disclose. Republicans had urged that the inquiry be ordered on a following to disclosures of government text sentinels. President Truman has designated McGrath himself to direct a cleanup drive against corruption in government. The resolution adopted by the committee requires no further action by the House. It stipulates that the investigation is non-political and to be confined to the credible testimony and not the mere suspicion.
Never saved for the future. It's called the Myra. New at 6, Jack.
The possibility of the 3-way Republican race loomed today in New Hampshire's March 11 presidential preference ballot and first in the nation this year. General Dwight D. Eisenhower already is qualified. Backers say Senator Robert A. Taft of Ohio will enter today, and then it was possible that Harold E. Sassoon would be
No retirement plan, and he doesn't.
to file the deadline by tomorrow
Type of savings bond.
on time. The word on Taft came from Ted Johnson and Concord head of the New Hampshire's Bob Taft Club. Taft's number in Florida had no comment, but he spoke out before. Leslie cheering crowds on issues like foreign policy and honesty in the government. He talked at Tempe, St. Petersburg, and Orlando. Sassoon on leave as president of the University of Pennsylvania opened his Illinois prayers.
It rolls over to a traditional.
Presidential provincial primary campaign at a dinner in Decatur last night. He discussed foreign policy and had disagreed with both President Truman and Senator Taft. In Boston, meanwhile, CIO Union Convention was due to vote today as resolution questioning General Eisenhower's right to labor support. The resolution declares Eisenhower stands to the night on the Taft and possibly to the
For early withdrawals.
light of the Hoover on domestic issues. Senator Lodge, Republican of Massachusetts, the General Chief Supporter, yesterday addressed the National Convention of the CIO Retail Wholesale Department. Steve,
Pension on the job. Don't have
the CIO of the Wholesale and Department Store employees, and prior to the talk, Lodge described Eisenhower as progressive-minded and said that the pamphlet was being prepared, setting forth his views on domestic problems, foreign policy, and labor. In Orlando, Senator Taft said that the Korean War was
But there seems to be
useless and undertaken by mistake. He drew applause from a crowd of 3,000 when he said that General Douglas MacArthur wanted to win the war and the administration did not want to do it.
There's really no
Sassoon in his foreign policy remarks said, I do not agree that America must be either internationalized into failures and probable war by President Truman or in
The fund could be depleted by the time they retire.
solutionized into failures into
Have automatic.
that and probable war by Senator Taft. A statement by MacArthur, meanwhile, created ripples in Republican congressional circles. MacArthur yesterday said in a letter asking that the name be withdrawn from the New Hampshire primary that voters should choose a civil leader and president.
plus.
Senator Brewster, Republican,
only on 5
drunk
drivers. Speaking
interpreted this as a strong indication of MacArthur's support of Senator Taft. Senator Toby, Republican New Hampshire, labeled it as a left-hand slap at General Eisenhower.
Slowly easing in the Midwest.
Name announced today in Washington that it had engaged Charles McGuire Association Province to draw plans and estimate costs for its proposed destroyer base at Rhode Island. The present intention to list the destroyer base in the Defense Public Works Bill, which President Truman plans to present to Congress in June. This work is
up again.
first must be authorized by the Congress, which would appropriate the funds. The Newport Daily News Washington Bureau reports. Latest figures on the probable overall cost of $40 million, although this could not be confirmed. From an official source, previously over $22 million had been mentioned. The Navy declined to give an estimate. A spokesman for the Charles McGuire Association said all information had been to come from Washington. Some delay had been caused by the Navy changing various details. The overall plan remains as originally announced. This includes a causeway from Long Wharf to the Island Industrial Basin within 27 feet under the water from the causeway north, and new piers and conversion of existing buildings and civil enforcement will be started.
You would think that everybody would be.
800 increase to 2,000 according to plans.
And then this.
Today's charter election vote at 2 o'clock this afternoon was only a travel beyond the vote of the March 1950 charter. At the same hour, by 2 o'clock today, 1,420 had voted, which was less than one beyond the 1950 figure when the federal total was 4,414. The election got off to a slow start because of this morning because of the weather. By soon the vote was coming in quite heavily. The second ward was 22 votes ahead of the previous charter election of awards. Traffic getting trailing that noontime election figure by small totals. Some candidates were active at the polls. The Sheriff Herbert Bacali, Democrat City Sheriff, was making a round in the voter places. New flyers listed 8 candidates that appeared at the poll today at several of the voting places. High school youths were handling out flyers for the different candidates. Washington. Mrs. Anna Rosemary encouraged senators today to approve a straight 10% pay raise for everybody in the armed forces, general wills as well as private. Mrs. Rosenberg, Assistant Secretary of Defense, was back before the Senate Armed Services Committee following its testimony yesterday that did not convince all members that would be the flat percentage raise would be. Was the women in defense official whose chief responsibility and manpower for the armed services said that men and women and officers in the service are the only main.
For just $50 each. 877.
New York railroad stocks led the market into the higher ground today, with most gains measured in fractions. Activity was better than the average of recent sessions, and buyers continued cautious and selective. Some of the railroad issues were ahead better than the point at times. Radio, TV stocks and steel shares were among the stronger groups, but their gains for the most part were fractorial. The main major of the list showed narrow price changes with a plentiful sprinkling of minus signs. While traders kept on foreign developments, especially in Egypt and Tunisia, they were sensitive to domestic news. Favorable earnings reported of Marion Curry's, for instance, attracted attention to the rails at 100% stock dividend and added a point at one time to Foster Wheeler. The wider gains included more than a point advances at times by Zenith Radio, Atlantic Coastline Railroad, Santa Fe, and Illinois Central. Communist leadings are using the Korean War as a finishing school for Fletcher Pilot Squad in Newport.
Shows 2 men entering Sean Clark's
Set
shop moments before the brazen
who returned here on a leave
investigation.
Sunday after 87 combat missions over the North Korean target.
Those individuals. There's a great deal of.
Captain Evan J. Winsky, the U.S. Air Force son of Mrs. Rose Wisniewski Vane on Division Suite, said today that American pilots can tell when the Reds send up a new class of students, and MiG 13 students are raising missions. The young Reds became more adept in their tactics, and then they are replaced by another group of the learners. The 31-year-old flyer was credited
Who was not pursued,
with
vowed to pursue all leads.
probably shooting down an MiG 15 over St. Andrew November 30th while American planes were raiding the ground installations 40 miles from the border. Worst menace to our planes is that concentrated red anti-aircraft fighter. The captain says that an enemy knows that we are probably returning for their strikes against large supply points that are transportation lines and directs a skillful barrage equal to the German flag during World War II. Captain Wisniewski had a 72 mission as a fighter pilot in Europe and in the last war and was awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross. He returned here in 1946. Graduated from University of Rhode Island in 1930 went to the Korea last June when a National Guard from Texas outfitted it. How did the MiG compare with our Sabre jets? The MiG-15 is the world's best intercepting, he said, for short-range air combat desktops, however, red fighters not equal our planes. For the close-in ground attacks, he said, the Reds put us at the disadvantage in North Korea. Said they can send relays of the planes against us from across the Yale River boundary. Captain Winseski explained that MiGs will come across, engage in combat for about 5 minutes, and then one basic refueling when a fresh flight takes over. He credits on integration and strikes against supply and rail lines with preventing the communists from mounting an offensive last fall. Our planes particularly concentrated on the supply lines from San Manchu, the North Korean capital of Pyongyang, and all his 159 missions. The short, stocky powder has never been wounded or has his plane suffered for more than the scratches from opposing fire. What's the answer? Plane locked. The captain asked if what recommendation he would make to Numbers fired was parts Wednesday tail after the captain advised them to keep their eyes wide open. The plane's most vulnerable part in the attack is the tail. He said if possible, you gotta contact the Marine.
Go to autofair.com. The perfect ride at the
Hello? Hello?
is just a click away.
Who's this?
Autofair.com.
What?
And Dana followed Brigham and Women's
Oh!
Doctors of Ireland.
What we tell patients is that the patient is the center of our universe. By virtue of having a team of surgeons, medical oncologists,
Nurses, physician assistants, radiologists.
it's not just me coming up with a treatment plan. There's 10 other doctors.
Rhode Island's drink less liquor,
Right near you.
wine and beer, and bit lesser than they did in 1950. This was due to higher prices. Says on water, unemployment, and from the annual report of James S. Denneker, Acton Liquor. Central Administrator, it seems they were also developing more of a
And every now and then it appears
preference for beer imported into Rhode Island than the products of the domestic breweries.
breaking story.
Denneker reported that based on imports in the state, there are no distilleries in Rhode Island. The apparent consumption of hard liquor during the 1961 total 1,059,678 gallons compared with 1,089,141 gallons in 1950. Our decreased efforts to the percent, 1% wine consumption in 1991 totaled 678,165 gallons, which was a decrease of 28% compared to 1950. Consumption of
Only on 5 tonight. Sinead tells us
beer last year better than 19,149,642 gallons as against 19,195,643 gallons in 1950. Again, a slight drop in that connection and out of state imports into Rhode Island increased 535,309 gallons, whereas local production and sales decreased 583,331 gallons.
I've heard she was.
Billy Sinead was 8
Okay, now to the weather now. Hey now, money off.
when he slammed into the back.
Okay, take your bus.
Trooper Ellen Engelhardt was critically injured in a vegetative state for 8 years until her death in 2011.
And while we're sitting there having a glass of orange juice, the emotion of having done what I've done and the emotion of the guilt
Right now, our current conditions at
there in every cell.
Sinead did almost 3 years in jail after the accident. Today, he pled guilty to charges.
right now, our current conditions in
But while it ends the case,
Providence, Rhode Island at 6:15 p.m. We got a temperature of
I want them to know that I'm still continually sorry.
15 degrees with a wind chill about 5 above, the dew point about 4, the humidity 61%, barometer 29.99 inches, visibility about 15 miles when winds knocked out was about 7 in conditions, clear skies. Okay, let's take a look at our regional forecast. We got a temperature of 15 degrees, our temperature in Norwood and Logan Airport, Boston, 69 in Taunton and Plymouth and New Bedford and Hyannis and in Martha's Vineyard, 24 in Detective with light snow, 17 in Quonset Point, 17 degrees our temperature right now in
To make up for it.
Westerly and out in Block Island,
said they mourn Ellen every day, but this does bring
17 out in Newport, 18 out in
Calvin issued a statement.
Groton, 89 in Raven, 13 in Hartford, 12 in Windsor Locks, Connecticut, 59 in Bridgeport, 18 in Islip, 18 in New York City, 7 in Albany, 5 in Pittsfield, 11 in Springfield, 8 in Worcester and in Leominster, 12 degrees in Bedford and 12 degrees in Lawrence. There.
Well, the storm that really kind of crippled the south.
Okay, let's take a look at our
Snow to Atlanta and Macon,
map situation. It was cold for much of the northeast with snow showers out in
rain, and a lot of it.
eastern Maine and southern New Brunswick, and snow showers down from the Mid-Atlantic region, and snow showers stretch from West Pennsylvania and Howard down from Michigan, stretching up in Wisconsin and up in Ontario here,
Virginia Beach.
and it was mild out in California here,
Significant snow fell on the Cape. There was
and high pressure centered in Iowa, high pressure.
Falmouth and Sandwich, generally 4 to 5, a little east of there, 6 on Nantucket. Then the amounts taper.
High pressure centered in much to the Rockies, mild weather in California, and low pressure centered off Washington and southwestern Saskatchewan here.
About 1 or 2, 3 hours.
Okay, let's take a look at our forecast for Boston and vicinity. Go like this, including Rhode Island. Including very cold tonight with lowest temperature near 5 above on the coast and from 5 below to 10 below 0 inland. And Wednesday, fair and continuing cold. For Boston vicinity, including very cold tonight with lowest temperature about 4 above in downtown and from 5 below to 10 below inland. Wednesday, fair and continuing cold. Eastport to Block Island. Storm warnings are displayed for northerly winds about 30-40 miles per hour this afternoon intermission tonight, and fair except for some snow flurry activity well offshore this afternoon and fair tonight and Wednesday. Good visibility. Extending that forecast for the temperature in New England during the next 5 days. Wednesday through Sunday will be average 3 to 8 degrees below the seasonal normal. Cold Wednesday and Thursday. followed by the slowly moderating temperatures. Some nominals for the period are as follows: at Boston 27, Providence 27, Nantucket 30, New Haven 28, Concord, New Hampshire 21, Burlington 17, Portland 22, Eastport, Maine 20, and Greenville, Massachusetts 11, and Prescott 11. At Boston, the normal maximum temperature during this period is 35, and the normal minimum temperature is 18. Precipitation during the period will be on the average total about 1.1 of an inch. Current has snow except snow mixed with sleet and rain along the southern New England coast about Friday. Sunrise bomb at about 7 a.m. sunset, 4:57 p.m. and tide 10:14 a.m. and 10:59 p.m. and low tide 3:44 a.m. and 4 p.m. and that's coming into the weather and Benny North and one waddle out of the sports after this commercial break. For anyone who pays the bills, this is a personalized check master here. Only cost you 10 cents per check. Use free checkbooks, no deposit charges, no minimum balance, and no service charge. It's time saving. It's safer to pay your bills by check. Besides, it gives you an accurate record of where your money is going. And you cancel checks all as proof of payment. Find out yourself advantage and the convenience of paying bills this business-like way. Why not? Use your next paycheck to open a Checkmaster account at the Hospital Trust Company at the Rhode Island Hospital Trust Company in Providence, Pawtucket, Woonsocket, Cranston, East Providence, Newport. Member Federal Reserve System and member FDIC. Okay, now to the sports with Warren Walden, and is brought to you by the Rhode Island Hospital Trust Company and locations in Providence, Pawtucket, Woonsocket, Cranston, East Providence, and Newport. Here now, Warren Walden. Good evening, everybody, sports fans. Here now, what's going on in the world of sports. In Pawtucket, when two pitchers on the same Major League club hail from the same city, such as Pawtucket's Chet Nichols and Max Sherlock, the Boston Braves at Credit Clinton Sport, when two Major League umpires hail from the same city as Dwayne Sort and Jim Duffy of the American League might be considered downright unique. It's only fitting that Sort and Duffy should wind up in the American League, for their careers have been closely linked several years. These are two of the youngest in the majors. Sort 37 and Duffy 31 have been active in the sports field since high school days.
Remember him, he coached for the Patriots. Overall, it's his NFL career.
In New York, Kentucky climbed into the #1 spot in the weekly Association Press basketball poll today, but the Wildcats had only narrow margins over Kansas State and Illinois.
He's brought the Seahawks to the Super Bowl, but
Adolph
his turning point.
Rupp's Bluegrass Quintet total 79 points and 755 for Kansas State and 745 to third place Illinois. These three were far out front. Fourth place Kansas had 523 points and ninth place St. Bonaventure, one of the two major undefeated teams, left at 457. Kentucky, which are on the top and in two of the first three polls on the season, lured 32 first place votes from the nation's sports writers and sportscasters. Each first place vote counted at 10 per second place 9 and so on down the line. And rounded out the first 10 order were St. Louis Duquesne, the undefeated team with a 12-0 mark at Washington and West Virginia.
Sunday, Tim Thomas last night, and this evening, 3 New Englanders are on.
Rochester, New York heavyweight champion Jersey Joe Walcott yesterday was bidden for his time, waiting for some reaction from the New York State Athletic Commission after bluntly stating that I wouldn't care if Bob Christenberry, Commission Chairman, takes away from me. Obviously, like by that fight or else. Ultimately, from Christenberry, Walcott said last night that what I have been doing is more important than satisfying boxing commissioners. I tried and impressed on kids sincerely on faith in God. Christenberry had ordered Walcott to sign a defense of his crown by February 5th to be stripped of it. I'm not accredited to boxing and they have my title, Walcott said.
Carter Williams from Hamilton right now.
In Boston, knockout beatings by champions Sugar Ray Robinson and Irish Bob Murphy appeared to have taken a high toll on Jake LaMotta and Buxton's famed Boulder Bronx after a 5-month layoff. That ex-middleweight titleist returned to the wing wars last night and dropped a 10-round divided decision to Norman Hayes, a Boston 20-year-old Negro battle who has championship ambitions. Jake, now 30, appeared for and heavy-footed at 169 3¼ pounds. He punched with his old-time reckless abandon, but again, Hayes, who have proved extremely easy to hit, Jake's lows seem to be like their former ring. LaMotta 1-2 favorite with a 6 3/4 pounds bull in LaMotta after Hayes fought many times. Jake Lennon saw blows to the Boston's units their head and body, but they lacked authority.
It doesn't water down one thing I'm thinking in regards to you want you to come on.
Rockmount, North Carolina, in 1912, when King Gustav Sweden tapped Indian Jim Thorpe, the greatest living athlete in the world. Little did the famous athlete imagine when pitfalls of the life lay ahead for him. Far not long after he had received the medals and trophies which he won in the Olympic Games that year,
Has to be the
And he was forced to return them when it was discovered that he had played professional baseball while still a student at Carlisle Indian School. In later years, some sources, including Thorpe's wife Patricia, have tried to maintain that they was semi-pro baseball, where the great athlete participated in about the draft of the fourth played on a professional baseball team in Rocky Mountain, member of the Eastern Carolina League. New York, Salvatore Salazano, the convicted basketball fixer, was brought to trial in the near future for alleged evading $24,455 in federal income taxes. Salazzo was indicted yesterday on charges of evading $53,636 in federal income taxes for the year 1945. Last spring, he was indicted for allegedly evading $210,779 in income tax for the year 1944. U.S. Attorney Miles J. Lane, a former professional hockey player, was said that the two indictments would be consulted for a trial in the near future if convicted on both. Indictment, Salazzo will be subject to a maximum penalty of 10 years imprisonment and a $20,000 fine. Salazzo, who faces a charge of pleaded guilty to fixing basketball games in Madison Square Garden and serving an 8 to 16-year prison sentence in Sing Sing prison. Cleveland, Hank Greenberg, the Cleveland Indians general manager, said Al Rosen is going to play third base this season for a try at a reduced salary. He explained Rosen didn't do as well as last year he did his freshman season, and added that Rosen had gotten a big pay hike then. Cassine Williams gets something less than $15,000. Rosen built to 24 homers and had 1-2 runs batted in during 1951. The year before, he had leagued with 37 homers and 116 RBIs. 15 players, 3 from each club, will represent the Newport City League against the Bolster U.S. Vulcan team in the match at the Diamonds basketball game Sunday afternoon at Rogers High School in Newport. The Newport City League squad will include George Byer, Pat Hayes, Matt Cattup, or Tom Hastings from the league. Bob Chevrolet, Gordon Parker, Ollie Barker, and Jimmy Ring from O'Brien's, and Dick Cole, Douglas Sullivan, and Bucky Bremerton from Fran Gannon, Big Dan Sullivan, and Bill Willis, and Joel Nagel from Broadway Hardware, and Billy Cox, Otto Blackburn, and Hilary Jackson from the Spotlight Cafe. Sam Christus of O'Brien Court and a former Providence College star will handle the All-Stars. The welcome will be strengthened by several outstanding service league players, one of whom was Armand Straight Westmoreland Torpedoes Station, Snow's by Jerome of 30 points per game.
Days, not weeks. Call 1-800-ASPEN Dental because your mouth is our mission.
This fire in Lawrence on Hall Street proving to be a beast.
And that is going to be it for the Telenews Daily on this January 29th, 1952. I am Russ Ben Arsdale alongside Buddy North and Warren Walton. Everybody have a good evening. We'll see you later. Bye-bye, buddy. Have a good evening.